Misery loves company, doesn't it? Today's lesson is on question tags. Question tags. And this is a part of my fluency series, my fluency training series, where I take little parts of the language that we use that is just a little detail, but if you put it in the correct place and use it correctly, it can make a gigantic difference in making you sound and become more fluent. The last fluency training lesson, if you remember, was on sentence starters. Do you remember what some sentence starters are? Things like, basically, actually, I mean, well, you know, things like that. Transition from nothing into a smooth transition into your sentence. Now, that is about how to start a sentence. Today, we're going to learn how to finish a sentence fluently. Sound good? It does sound good. So, we're talking about question tags today. And I'm going to talk about a few different parts of question tags. You probably have already studied question tags. It's kind of a basic, lower intermediate kind of lesson. You probably have studied them, but there are some important details to consider when using question tags. So I wrote some basic question tags here. Question tags, by the way, there's a connector. Question tags are a small question at the end of a statement to either to make a question or to confirm something that you think is true. But either way, it's a way to engage the other person and involve the other person into your conversation. So they're a very good tool to use. So basically, the format is you have your basic sentence. And then you will probably have a comma followed by the question tag. A simple rule of thumb, and a rule of thumb means a general guideline. It's not a 100% thing, but a general guideline to go by is if the sentence is positive, the question tag will be negative. So if I said, misery loves company, doesn't it? Misery loves. Loves is a positive. It's an affirmative sentence. That's what I mean by positive, not the meaning, because misery loves company isn't a very positive feeling. But we're talking about just the language here. Misery loves. Loves is a positive and affirmative verb. Misery loves company, doesn't it? So the question tag is negative. The other, we also use it if the sentence is negative, the question tag is positive. Exactly. The question tag is positive. Misery doesn't really like company, does it? Misery doesn't really like company, does it? You're not confused right now, are you? You're confused right now, aren't you? So, that's a general rule to go by. If the sentence is positive, the question tag is negative. If the sentence is negative, the question tag is positive. Let's look at some examples of question tags. This is a list of some question tags, but it's not at all of the question tags. I just wrote some common ones to give you an idea. Really, any auxiliary verb auxiliary verbs meaning are or to be, have. There goes my cloudy brain forgetting the other one. But do, do, don't they? Also, modal verbs like can, they can be used as question tags, like can you or can't you? You can speak English, can't you? You can speak English, can you? Basically, there I go again. But basically, the auxiliary verbs or modal verbs are used in question tags. Let's look at some examples. And since examples are so difficult to think of on the spot means right in the moment, right now, on the spot. Or another expression is off the top of my head. They're very difficult examples are difficult to think of off the top of your head. Off the top of your head means immediately, right now. But they are, so I wrote some examples here to share with you. And if I can think of other examples, I'll add those too. But if you meet somebody and you say, you're from England, aren't you? That means something a little different than, you're from England, aren't you? Note the intonation. You're from England. There are two types of intonations. One is this. You're from England, aren't you? Or, you're from England, aren't you? You try it with me. You're from England, aren't you? Again, you're from England, aren't you? And again, you're from England, aren't you? You're from England, aren't you? Let's do our example from earlier. Misery loves company, doesn't it? That doesn't really sound proper. That doesn't sound correct. So what we would say in that case, misery loves company, doesn't it? Misery loves company, doesn't it? This is a way to show that intonation and pronunciation is important, and it's important in conveying the meaning that you want to share. Intonation. Intonation is important because if the question tag goes up, doesn't it? Doesn't it? That means that you're really asking a question. It's a legitimate question. You don't know the answer. Whereas if the intonation goes down, aren't you? Doesn't it? Don't they? This is you think you know the answer or you're sure you know the answer, and it's just kind of for confirmation. So if I meet someone and their accent sounds British, maybe they have a very British look, a British demeanor, they look very British, I can say, you're from England, aren't you? And that means that it looks like it, I think it, but it's a way to engage somebody else in your conversation. It's a way to sound a lot more fluent. Here in Spain, the common way to finish sentences is no. Like if I say, you're from England, no? Misery loves company, no? You like football, no? This is because in Spanish, that's how they say it. But in English, if you use question tags and you use them with the proper intonation, it will make you sound not only more fluent, but also more correct on your speaking exams or even general conversation, job interviews, anywhere where you have to use English. Question tags will make you go from this level to this level just with knowing this information and with using them. Let's look at some other examples. I imagine that you have studied question tags in your school, in your English education. Sometime in life you've studied question tags. You have studied question tags. What question tag would I put on there? You've studied question tags, haven't you? You've studied question tags, haven't you? That would be like if you say the correct answers, if we're in class or I'm talking to you, we're having a one-on-one lesson, which, by the way, you can sign up for a one-on-one Skype lesson on my italki page below. Click on the link and click on the promo link for a free gift. It's 100 italki credits, and Skype lessons are phenomenal because you get personalized attention and increase your speaking. You're speaking the entire time, so it's great. Since I'm promoting my italki page, I might as well say, don't forget to subscribe below if you haven't already. You do know how to subscribe, don't you? You know how to subscribe to YouTube, don't you? You know, it's 2016. You know how to subscribe to a YouTube channel. If you have a normal verb like know, you know how to subscribe to a YouTube channel. We don't really say know you. If we have an action word, the question tag word is don't you or do you. You don't have your own YouTube channel or you don't have your own YouTube account, do you? You don't have your own YouTube account, do you? Because the verb know is an action verb. Action verbs get the question tag most of the time with do or don't. Let's talk about the future. You're going to the concert this weekend. You're going to the concert this weekend. What question tag would you use? There's a big concert this weekend. You're going to that concert, aren't you? You're going to that concert, aren't you? Or, if I don't know, you're going to that concert, aren't you? You're going to that concert, aren't you? Aren't you? I don't know. Aren't you? I do know. And you are. And be safe and have fun. My hometown is Chadsford, Pennsylvania. You've probably never heard of it. You've probably never heard of it. What question tag could I use there? You've probably never heard of that. Have you? Have you? Normally I would say confirmation because you probably haven't heard about Chadsford, Pennsylvania. But if you have, I would love to hear from you. That would be amazing. So definitely let me know if you have heard or even been to Chadsford, Pennsylvania. It's actually, see how much we use these fluency markers? It's actually a very historic place and was home to very important battles in our history. So if you go there, be sure to check out the different museums. By the way. Be sure to check out the different museums and battlefields and things like that. It's a beautiful area. But it's not very well known. So you probably haven't heard of Chadsford, Pennsylvania. Have you? Let's turn around and look at our assignment this week. Your assignment is simple. I'm going to give you a series of questions with blank question tags, and I want you to write the question tags. And I'd also like you to indicate whether you would probably put the intonation up or the intonation down. So a simple assignment this week, and you shouldn't have a problem with it. But the point is to get you to practice these. The more you practice them, as with anything, with an instrument, with a sport, with a skill, with art, with language, absolutely. with everything, the more you actually use it and practice it in real situations that actually mean something to you, the more you use these and practice them, the more you'll perfect it, the more English will become a part of you. Also, if you do find these useful, share them. Share them with others so we can grow and I can make more videos and more lessons. And that would be a great thing. So other than that, have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic week next week. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.